I'm Michaela. I'm a naturopath and nutritionist, and today I'm going to share with you a really quick, simple and easy meal prep. You can get it done in either 30 minutes or you can break it up into 5 to 10 minute recipes throughout the day. So perfect for new mummies or perfect for stay-at-home mums. So grab your coffee and I'll show you what we're prepping today. So we're going to get started with chopping up some veggies that we are going to freeze and use for different meals for dinner throughout the week. This is something that I try to do every 1 to 2 weeks as I find they keep quite well for that time, retain their flavour, and I don't need to pre-cook them. It also just saves that chopping time. So at dinner, if you need to just get things done as quick as possible, which is always the case with me, you can literally just pour your veggies in, pour the other ingredients, and your 1 tray bake is ready to go. So chuck them into a couple of Ziploc bags and then into the freezer nice and flat. So this is a recipe I recommend for all new mums because it's so quick and easy to make. You can make it at the start of the day or any time when your bub's napping because it takes as little as 10 minutes and then you can just leave it to simmer. That means you'll have dinner already done for you and then a couple of days worth of lunches, which is what I'm doing today. We're going to have some of this for dinner tonight and then I'll portion out some of it for lunches for me and my husband for a couple of days. You could also double batch this and freeze half of it, pop it in a Ziploc bag, lay it flat in the freezer, and then thaw that out for another make-ahead meal if that works for you. I also really love this meal because it's so nutrient dense. It's got the iron, the B vitamins, it's got antioxidants, fiber, all our beautiful veggies in one serving. So even if you're just having it on its own, it's a really well-balanced and nutritious meal. It's also one that most kids will enjoy eating and not notice the extra veggies, so that's always a win too. So one thing I like to do to make the prep time as quick as possible for this dish is cook the onion and mince first and garlic. Just break apart the mince and then let it sit there and kind of brown on its own while I go and chop all the veggies, and then I can come back, give it a bit of a stir, add in the rest of the ingredients before I add the veggies. And even if the mince is a little bit undercooked, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be putting the lid on and simmering it anyway. So I just find this cuts down a lot of time and I can get this meal prepped in about 10 minutes. And that's also why this is one of my go-to dinners for the nights or the days where Olive is being a little bit clingy. She just wants to be held because I only have to spend a few minutes chopping the veggies, lightly brown the mince and the onion, and then just put all the ingredients in and let it simmer until it's cooked properly. So really good to get on earlier in the day when you do have hands-free time, but if you don't, you only need to find a couple of minutes. So I'm just adding some bone broth powder instead of stock just for that extra flavour and health benefits. And then we're just going to put the lid on and let it simmer until it's cooked while we get started on the 4-bean mix. So I don't make this dish a lot, but I do like it just for something different and for a savoury option for breakfast. You can have it with some eggs, you can have it on toast, and it's got some nice nutritional benefits to it as well. Lots of fibre, protein, and we get bone broth in this one as well. So we're using a lot of our pantry staples, which works wonderfully if you haven't done a food shop yet and you just need to get something rustled up really quickly for meal prep. This is a good one to keep handy. So I've made my bone broth and now I'm just softening the onions up in the saucepan, add the herbs and spices, and then put in all the rest of the ingredients, and that's literally the whole dish done. It's like a healthy baked beans style meal, so if you're into that sort of thing, you will love this dish because it is so delicious but also really quick and easy to make. Also a good way to use up those cans of beans that you've had sitting in the cupboard, not really sure what to do with them. So just give it a good little stir and then we're going to pop the lid on, let it simmer alongside our spaghetti bolognese while we get started on the muffins. So this is a recipe I have made a lot since becoming a mum, and that's because when you've got small children, it is all about the one-handed foods. Because I don't know about you, but I find if I don't have healthy grab and go options, especially if you're having a bit of a tough day, I end up eating way too much peanut butter on toast because it's just quick and easy. And of course that's fine in moderation, but we want to be getting more nutrients and a wider variety of them. And these muffins are so nutrient dense. I really love them for that. I am more than happy to have a couple of these a day. They're really balanced, they're filling, and they're sweetened only with a little bit of fruit and a tiny bit of honey, so it's really good for your blood sugar levels while still satisfying your sweet tooth as well. And because they freeze really well, I do recommend double batching if you've got the spare extra minutes and ingredients, so then you can freeze half for next week or whenever you kind of need them, and then you can enjoy the rest of them this week. I'm actually using half oat flour and half almond meal in this recipe. Usually the original recipe is just with almond meal, but I wanted to add the oats in today, so I just ground that up in the NutriBullet. And then you can use any berries you like. I just go for the frozen organic berries, whatever I've got in the freezer. Anything works really. The batter for this recipe is usually quite thick, but I do find if you're using the oats, you will need to add just a little splash of almond milk to thin it out a little bit more. And then I always like to add just a couple of tablespoons of seeds for the extra nutrients. And then we can go ahead and pour it all into a lined muffin tray. These make pretty decent sized muffins as well, so you could even make more if you want them littler, and you can even make them into mini muffins for your littlies as well. So I've let everything cook and cool, and now I'm just ready to put it all into some storage containers so I can pop them in the fridge and freezer. I'm doing rice noodles for the spaghetti bolognese just because that's my husband's favorite. So we've got enough left over after what we're having for dinner for 2 of his lunches, which is quite a big size, and then just 1 for me. I hope this has given you some ideas of how you can make some really quick and easy healthy recipes and prep ahead for the week. I know as a mum it can be really hard to find the time to eat healthy, so everything I share, all of my recipes and meal preps are designed to help you get in and out of the kitchen as quick as possible. You can find all these recipes on my website, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and feel free to put any recipe or meal prep requests in the comments.